Girls, I'm so sorry. I forgot to record this meeting for Cami. She is not going to be seeing you guys in the recording. It'll just be the instructional paper, okay? So sorry. All right.
Mommy, something's on the computer.
Oh.
Something's on the computer.
Hi. I just started recording my drawing, and so it made an announcement that it was being recorded. The girls won't be in the recording. I forgot I needed to record this for Cami, the young lady who's missing class tonight. So she's going to see just the drawing page.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Jordan, we're good. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you. That voice was kind of alarming. All right, you guys, here we go. We're going to keep filling in our treasure box. Good job though, Jordan. That's exactly what you want to do when something weird happens on the computer. You did a great job. All right, you could even make it look like, you know how I said you could make it look like there's a necklace coming out of the treasure box. You've seen pearl necklaces before. They're tiny little beads all strung together. Do something like that. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to run some lines around my shapes to make it look like, if you've ever seen a pirate's treasure, there are shapes inside of shapes like this. It's like a trim around the edges. So by making a smaller rectangle inside of the shape, I can put the trim along that edge. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to put some trim along these edges like this. Just drawing that shape inside of there. Again, the shape inside of a shape. I'll do that up here too. How are we doing, Ellie? Looking good? All right. All right, Jordan, how's it going over there? Are you good? Good to go? All right. I know it's our first time getting to know each other, so I'm not really sure. You know, once we are working together a little bit, I'll start to know when you need me to speed up or slow down. Let's see. I can tell Ellie's ready to move on. Jordan, looks like you're ready too. Okay, excellent. Okay, so we've got our treasure box. Let's draw our mermaid now. That's the fun part. Well, now that we've given her something to find, let's draw our mermaid. She's going to go right over here on this side of our drawing. And she's just found this treasure, and so she's very excited. She's found a mirror inside of this treasure box. So we're going to start up here by drawing. We're just going to start with a circle shape for her face like this. Well, I want her chin to be a little pointy, so I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to erase this and I'm going to make her chin just a little pointier along the bottom. A little bit. And then of course I have to erase my horizon line out of the inside of her head. So I'm just seeing just her face now. There we go. Now underneath her head, I'm going to draw a very short neck. So I'm going to make 2 short vertical lines for her neck. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw the tops of her shoulders. So I'm going to add 2 diagonal lines for the top. So that's this part of her shoulder right here. The top of her shoulder right here. It's a little short little diagonal line coming off of her neck on both sides. Now, one of her arms, this one over here, is going to bend down. So we're going to draw a line that goes down and then back up. But on this side, her arm is going to go up toward her hair. So over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw a line that goes up and then over. So we're putting bends in her arm. This one looks like the letter V, and this one over here goes up and then over. Now her hand is going to end up over here, but let's use 2 lines to create her arm. So over here, I'm going to repeat this line. I'm going to come down and then back over to her body right there. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. This is her wrist where her hand is going to be. So I'm going to come down and then back over to her body. So this spot right here, girls, this is her armpit right here. These are her armpits. That's this part, the underside of the arm right here, where it meets the body. That's the armpit. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to bring a line that comes down. It's a little bit of a curvy line down from her chest to her waist like this. Sort of like the letter S, but it's very, very subtle. It's not a big curvy letter S. It's just a very gentle curve that's almost straight up and down. And we'll do the same thing on this side. It's going to curve in and then out. Now we're going to go across her body. So right in the middle, like if I drew a line down the middle of her body, right about here, we're going to do a bumpy line. So we're going to start over here on the left side where her armpit is, and we're going to do a bump across over to the other side like that. 2 bumps, 1, 2. So I'm stopping in the middle and then I'm continuing all the way across to the other side. So now we have like the top of her swimsuit bikini. And then we're going to drop down here to where the lines curve, and we'll draw the bottom of her bikini like that. All right. We're going to draw her tail next. Now her tail is so fun. I love drawing mermaids' tails, don't you guys? They're really fun. So I'm going to start over here on this side. So I've got my curvy line, and this time it's going to curve way over here like this and then down to the bottom. Now I'm not done yet. This is just the front of her tail. So you want to come from the bottom of her bikini line and then curve it over to the left and then back down. And if you do yours a little bit differently than mine, well, that's fine too, right? They don't have to be exactly the same. But we are going to do the same thing over here on this side. So we're going to curve, can bring this line, we're going to bring it over and then down. So these lines are following the same path, like that. Think of them like 2 sides of the road. But they're going to start to get closer and closer together. They're a bit wider apart up here, and we're going to try to bring them closer and closer together as we come around this bend. So we're going to pull this one up like this, and then this one is going to come closer and closer and closer. And here's where we're going to give her her little fishtail. Lots of wavy lines when we're drawing mermaids. So we're going to start over here, and we're going to do a line that waves up and down and up. And on this side, we're going to do a big curved line like this. Now we want these 2 lines to come back down into the middle. So I'm going to start at the top up here, and I'm going to bring this line down to the middle. Following back down, a little bit of a wavy line. And then over here, same thing. I'm going to bring it back down like this. Curved line. And again, if you do your mermaid's tail differently than mine, well, that's perfectly all right. I'm going to add some little detail lines in here, just some small little kind of wavy lines like this. Now I have the top of her bikini. I want to draw another line up here. This is the bottom of her bikini. This is the top of her bikini. And I need to draw the top of her mermaid tail right there. So this would be her belly. We could put a little belly button right there to show that that's her belly. And this is her mermaid tail. And of course, you could add all kinds of fun stuff to her mermaid tail if you wanted to add scales in there, which, we could come back to that if there's time at the end of class, but that's another fun detail that you could include. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put a pearl necklace on her. I imagine that she found it in this treasure chest over here, put it on already. Because, hey, why not? And what we're going to do next is we're going to add her hair and her face, and then we'll put her hands onto her arms so they don't look so weird. We're going to start over here on the top of her head, right over here on the right side. And we're just going to draw a line that curves across her face like this. And on the side of her face, we're going to do a small little curved line for her ear. Now we're going to go back to where we started, to this line right over here, and we're going to draw a small diagonal line up like this. And we're going to wave across the top of her head, just like we did here across the top of her face. We're going to do another line that comes up and over her head, goes to the outside of her ear. This is her wavy hair. Now, I do not want to see the top of her skull inside of her hair, right? So her hair is covering that up. So I can go in here now. Oh, I need to erase that line so that all I'm seeing is her face and her hair, just like this. Erase, erase, erase. There we go. And another line that I don't want to see is I do not want to see the horizon line through her hair. So down here where her ear is, I can see the horizon line through there. I'm going to erase that out of there as well. Oh my goodness, she's starting to look good. She is getting to be adorable. We're going to add some wavy hair on this side also. Now, just like with all the things we've done, if yours doesn't look just like mine, if her hair flows in a different way than my mermaid's hair flows, that's a-okay. All right, so I'm going to come back up here to her hair, and this time I'm going to bring her hair out and down. Oh, it's going to come through under here, under her arm. See, and yours might fit into your picture a little bit differently than mine. I'm just going to keep it going and then wave it back over toward her body, towards the back of her body. Now for me, in my drawing, I've got to get rid of this horizon line that's cutting through her hair right there. I've got to leave it right here because this is an open space that I can see between her arm and her hair. But I got to get it out of her elbow too. So if you have a horizon line cutting through your mermaid's hair or her body parts, remember you need to erase that away because her body parts are in front. All right, now we have to add an ear on this side also. We have an ear on the left. We have to come over here and add another little curved line, an ear on the right. Now, when we're drawing people, mermaids, any kind of figure or character that looks like a human, we want to keep in mind that the ears are in line with the eyes. Okay, so wherever we have her ears, that's about where her eyes are going to be inside of her face. So I've just drawn something across my mermaid's face. This is called a guideline. It's not going to be part of my drawing, but I'm putting it there because I know that I want my eyes to fall along this line. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw the eyes. To draw the eyes, and you might have a favorite way of drawing eyes. Some of my students do. They have a way that they usually like to draw eyes, but here's how I'm going to draw this mermaid's eyes. I'm going to start over here on the left side with a curved line. That's the top of her eyelid. And then I will add a curved line underneath. This is the bottom of her eyelid. And I'm making her eyes rather large so that you can see her big, beautiful eyes. Now she's going to be looking to the left. She's going to be looking into a mirror. So I'm going to show that she's looking in that direction. And I'm going to do that by coming into the space in between her two eyelids. And over here on the right side, I'm going to add a line that curves from the top to the bottom. It looks like this. That shows that the colorful part of her eye, the iris, is looking to the left. So this right here would be the white of her eye, and this would be the colorful part. And we have one more piece to draw in there. We have to show the pupil. The pupil is that black dot in the middle of her eyes. And it's not going to go in the center because she's looking to the left. So it's going to be a teeny tiny little curved line over here showing that she's looking in that direction. Now I'm going to go just up above her eye and I'm just going to use a curved line to give her an eyebrow. Girls, how did you do on your eyes? They looking good? All right, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to scoot over here to the other side of the face and I'm going to draw the other eye. So I'm going to start along this guideline that I drew and I'm going to draw a curved line that goes up for the top eyelid and a curved line that goes down for the bottom eyelid. And I'm trying to make the eyes about the same size. That's what I'm thinking about when I'm making this shape. Can I make them about the same size? Sometimes yes, sometimes I do better than others. And inside of here, I've got that curved line from top to bottom, and then this teeny tiny little line to show that her pupils are looking to the left. And of course, I want to give her a lovely little eyebrow on top. Now I'm just going to use a very small line to draw her nose. I just want to make her nose look very small and petite. So I'm doing a tiny, teeny, tiny little line that curves up. Let me zoom in and show you. Her nose is just a very small little line that curves up. It's about the same size as I made for those little lines for her pupils, just very small. We're not trying to draw a whole lot of attention to her nose, but she needs to have one. And then for her mouth, I'm keeping that very simple as well. I'm drawing a little smile. Now, if you have plans to color her, I always recommend adding some little rosy cheeks. Always makes her look just so sweet. But you could draw them on with your pencil too, like I just did. All right, now she has discovered a starfish. And so she's putting a starfish in her hair right here. So up here in this area where these two pieces of her hair come together, where her hair is parted over here, we're going to draw a starfish. Now, a starfish is kind of like our hand, that it has like a shape in the center, a circle shape for the body, and then it has 5 finger shapes coming off of it. So I'm going to begin up here by drawing a little circle shape. And I know that I'm going to end up erasing that circle, so I'm not drawing it very heavy, but I know I can go around this circle shape and I can make 5 little finger shapes like that, little half oval shapes. Well, goodness, that looks messy, doesn't it? Like I've made a big mess in her hair. Well, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase everything from inside of that shape. Now, sometimes when I'm erasing in small areas, I end up erasing parts that I want to keep, but I don't let that bother me because I can still see my lines. I can still easily redraw the outer shape of that starfish right back on here, leaving out all the parts that I didn't want to keep and only putting back on there the parts that I do want to keep. I'm going to straighten her hair back up. Oh, there we go. Oh, that is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And we are ready to add her hand now over here. So it's meant to sort of look like her hand is putting her starfish into her hair. But maybe she's just pulling her hair back. I don't know exactly. It might be different for you where exactly the hand lines up in your drawing. Might not be in the same spot as mine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the outside line of her arm. So this side right here, the line that's on top. And we're going to draw a curved line for the top of her hand. Now mine is going to fall right across, mine is going to end up overlapping my starfish a little bit. So this curved shape is going to continue around the top. We're trying to make it look like a mitten. If you've ever worn a mitten in the winter, you know that a mitten covers 4 of your fingers and then there's a pocket for your thumb. So we're making a shape like the shape of a mitten that 4 fingers could fit inside of. And then we're going to curve out one little piece for her thumb. So it'll look like that. So you know what I need to do now. I need to erase everything from inside of that mitten shape that I just drew. It's overlapping that starfish. And so I have to let it overlap, right? Because that's how things would look. Just like when my treasure chest went off of my paper, you just have to let those things happen in your drawings. Okay, so there we go. I've erased inside of her mitten-shaped hand.
Can we color after?
You sure can. Now, I'm not sure how much time we will have together to color, but you know what? I would love it if you colored her and then you could definitely share it with me at the beginning of next week's class. Would you like to do that? Yeah, I would love that. Okay, so I'm also going to add some fingers inside of this mitten hand. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to pull a few curved lines in like this, and it sort of breaks up that space and makes it look like she has some fingers. Yes, yes, yes. You can color her. And if if you find yourself waiting on me to go to the next step, you can be coloring while I'm teaching too, because you could be coloring all of this. Yeah, everything that you've drawn already. Sure thing. You can be coloring her treasure chest. Definitely, definitely. And that was a great question, Ellie. All right, now over here, we're going to add a mirror. So it's going to look like she's holding a mirror. So just beside her arm right here, I'm going to draw the handle of a mirror. So it's a tall, 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 narrow rectangle right there, just sort of floating beside her arm. And we're going to draw a line that curves from this side of her arm, from the right side of her arm. It's going to curve up. This is going to be her thumb. It's going to curve up and across the top of her mirror like that. So her thumb is holding on to the mirror handle. And of course, you know I have to erase inside of her thumb. We wouldn't see the mirror handle through her thumb. So once you erase inside of there, it just looks like a thumb holding onto the handle of her mirror. And on the other side of the mirror handle, we're going to do a curved line for the other part of her hand, for her fingers. And it's just going to fold around like that. So we're going to start at the top of the thumb here, and we're going to curve around and back over to her thumb. So it looks like her hand is holding it shut, but we have to erase inside of there. We wouldn't see the handle inside of her hand. So now it looks like her hand is wrapped around the handle of the mirror. And just like with the other hand, if you wanted to show some little fingers in that, you could break up that space and make it look like fingers in there by adding a few little curved lines. And now for the top of the mirror, we're going to draw an oval shape. So we're going to come up here to the top of the mirror and we're going to do a tall curved line like this. It's meant to look like she's holding this mirror kind of at an angle toward her. So she's not facing it toward us, so it's not a circle shape. It's turned toward her like that. So we don't see this angle, we see like that. We have to erase inside of the shape. If it's crossing over the horizon line, get that horizon line out of there. And then let's put a little frame inside. So just like when we drew shapes inside of shapes to show the trim around our treasure box, we're going to draw this oval shape one more time inside of here so that it looks like the frame holding that glass mirror in place. Oh my goodness, she is so cute. She's got her treasure and her mirror. Ooh la la. Mermaids are so adorable. I just love them. Okay, let's see. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to add a few fun details. We have a few more minutes together. Let's add some fun details to this drawing. So the first thing that I want to include is I want to fill in some of the blank spots. And your blank spots in your drawing might be in different places than mine. So I'm going to come over here where I've got this big empty space over here, and I'm just going to add a fun piece of seaweed. So I'm going to draw a wavy line that comes up like this. Now I'm going to show you how to draw these really fun pieces of seaweed. We'll probably draw them again in one of our other drawings. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom of this line, and this time I'm going to do this kind of wavy line that goes up alongside of my first wavy line. These little wavy lines are a lot smaller, like that. And I'm going to come to the other side, and I'm going to do that on the other side too. I'm going to go up and wave down and up and wave down, up and wave down. And these are really fun to make because there's no right or wrong way to do these. And they make these really beautiful looking pieces of seagrass. Now, of course, just like always, I have to get the horizon line out of my seagrass because this piece of seagrass is overlapping the horizon line. The horizon line is in the background of my picture and my seagrass is in the foreground. And you could add a little fish swimming in here. That's to make a fish. You're going to make the same kind of shape that we did for the eye. A curved line up, a curved line down. That gives you a little fish body. And then I like to use a triangle for the tail. And a little dot for the eye, of course. And then I like to give them a little fin on the top of their bodies. I'm using a little bitty jagged line, but you could make your fish look any kind of way that you wanted. And fish, of course, they have little fins on the sides of their bodies too. So that little fish just adds a little something to the composition and fills in some space. You could put a few of them in here. Wherever you have little open pockets of space, you could add some little fish. You could make them the same kinds of fish, or you could make them different. Whatever you have in mind there. But that's not all. I mean, I have more empty spaces. So I think down here, in this empty space, I would like to add maybe some treasure has spilled out of the box. So I'm going to add some little bits of gold coins down here. Maybe a couple of them are overlapping each other. I can show that they're not all just separated. Maybe there's a little pile of gold down here. Maybe she spilled some out when she was getting her mirror out of the treasure box. And then maybe there's another starfish on the ground. I could make another little starfish down here. the 5 little fingered shaped star. And another thing that I love to draw are sand dollars. They're really interesting little works of art. They're little circle shapes, but inside of them, you draw, it kind of looks like a little flower in here or like a starfish, interestingly enough. So you do a circle with a little starfish inside there, and it looks like something called a sand dollar.
I made a sun in the sky.
You did? Nice job. Yeah, let me exit out of here so I can see what you did. Okay, scooch it over, just hold it up just a little bit. Oh my goodness, Ellie, that is beyond adorable. I super love it. Great job. Great job. Hey, Jordan, do you want to share what you did today? Okay, here's my thing. You don't have to share. Sometimes you don't feel like it, but if you want to share, you're welcome to. So when I call on you, if you want to share, you certainly can. Oh my goodness, Jordan. Oh, that's so cute. You girls are amazing. Great job. Hey, I'm so proud of you because we started off with something, I'm going to be honest with you, something really tricky. Drawing that treasure box was tricky. We kind of had to put it in there so that our picture would make sense, but it's really all about the mermaid, isn't it? This picture was all about the mermaid, and your mermaids are super cute. So, okay, so I know class time is over. It ended just a minute ago, but I'm not done. If you've got a second to hang out with me, I'd like to talk about a couple of more things we can add. So if you have another favorite sea creature that you like, if you have some space, of course, you can include it. If you wanted to draw something in the background. I had in mind for this one just some different kinds of seagrass. This is another kind that you can draw. You do a curved line and just add like a little heart shape to show the 2 leaves on each side. And these are fun. You could plop them in wherever you feel like it needs a little something. You put in some seagrass. And these will be fun to color too, girls. However you want to do that. And then maybe over here, maybe if you don't want to do a sea creature, you could do some seashells. For sure. And fill in that space. There's some more treasure over here.
I put clouds in the sky too.
You did? Oh, what was that? You did clouds and what else?
And some birds and.
I love it. Let me exit out of here, and if you want to share it again, I'd love to see it. Let me see, Ellie. Very nice, Ellie. That's gorgeous. Great job. She looks wonderful. All right, Jordan, are you adding some more stuff you want to share before we go?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yay. I'll be so excited to see it. Let me see. Oh, right. Let's see. Hold it nice and still. Oh, that looks wonderful. Yes, ma'am. That looks great. Very exciting. I love what you've done there. It makes me want to know more. Yes, it's so intriguing. Do you know what that word means, intriguing? It's like, oh, I'm seeing a little bit of something and I want to see more of it. That's what that means. It means it looks so good. I want to see more of it. Girls, so if you want to color and share them again at the start of next class, I would super duper love that. I always love looking at your artwork because, I learn from you too, just so you know. I'm not the only teacher here. I learn from you guys too. All right, thank you so much for joining me. It was so delightful to get to meet you guys today. I really appreciate you being here.
I'm gonna color it.
That sounds wonderful. Ellie, I'm so happy to hear that. I can't wait to see what you do with that. And Jordan, if you want to color yours too, I'll be so happy to see it. Okay. All right, girls. I'll see you guys next Monday. Is it Monday today? Yeah, it's Monday. Have a a great rest of your week. Thanks for being with me today. Bye.
Bye.